Hey everyone, thank you for joining me today for another YouTube project, video, podcast, whatever you want to call it. Thank you for joining me here on Retro Geek Gaming, where we like to talk about things that are retro, geeky, and gaming related that I feel like is relevant when I make a video on, obviously. And I don't even know why I do these intros, because you obviously have read the title and seen the title card and all that stuff and know what we're talking about, so let's go ahead and get right into the topic today. So today's topic is an interesting one for me because I actually read it yesterday, and I thought about doing a video on it, but I decided to just wait until today, mostly because I don't know, I don't want to cannibalize my own videos and like release 2 or 3 back to back. I want to try to give a couple of days for them to breathe, and if I'm going to start making videos on like Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, or at least try to, depending upon the topics, then I need to give a couple of days for them to breathe. So let's go ahead and get into today's topic, which is that Nintendo has acquired Dynamo Studios. I'm going to go ahead and bring up the article here that we're going to talk about from TechCrunch, and we're going to discuss it. Which, as you can see here, again, Nintendo acquires CG Animation Studio and is going to rename it Nintendo Studios. And I think this is going to be important for a reason. Nintendo has entered an agreement to acquire the CG animation company Dynamo Pictures in order to develop visual content using Nintendo IP, and we're going to talk about that and some ideas that I have for that in a moment. So the gaming company is going to go ahead and buy 100% of the shares of Dynamo Pictures, rebranding it as Nintendo Pictures, and of course that's expected to go through on October 3rd, which is just going to be fantastic. The deal suggests that Nintendo is expanding further into the entertainment business that we've already started to see them kind of go into a little bit, especially with the 3DS that we'll talk about, and even now with the Mario movie. So, that I think that will be interesting to see how that is going to play out. Well, you might be asking yourself, why is this important? And I think this is great for a couple of reasons. One, Dynamo has made stuff for them in the past. I think they did the Pikmin shorts back in the day when we had like the 3DS and the Wii U. But also they've made some some of their own stuff in the past. But with the Mario movie coming out, I think this is Nintendo's attempt to expand. Like, we might get an F-Zero animated TV show, for example, that Nintendo controls. They don't have to go through somebody like Illumination. They can 100% control how that works out and do it themselves. I think that will be a great move for them, actually, because that's something that kind of we're like, we're seeing Sony do that. We're seeing Sony Studios come out with like The Last of Us and their own TV shows that they then send off somewhere else. This could easily be something where we see Dynamo Pictures, which is going to end up becoming Nintendo Studios, where they're going to start again making their own stuff. And the possibilities are endless on this. This could be for in-game cutscenes in their games, or we could get movies that basically set up the Smash Brothers universe or the Nintendo-verse, or whatever you want to call it. Like, imagine if we got Kirby animated movies, Donkey Kong animated movies or series. A Star Fox series would be fantastic, I think, personally. So the company, Nintendo, I mean, is already working with Universal and Illumination to bring an animated Mario Brothers movie, but after that, who's to say they won't just use their own Nintendo Studios? Because by the time they said, October 3rd, so by the time we get that movie out, the Mario Brothers movie, Nintendo Pictures will exist. And who knows what they're going to do after that. Maybe we'll see the Donkey Kong movie that they say is in the works come from Nintendo Pictures directly. Maybe we'll see a bunch of shorts. I think this is going to be great. But what do you guys think about this? Go ahead and throw in your comments what you want to see Nintendo do. Do you want to see like a 100% CGI animated Star Fox series that maybe like goes to Netflix or something? Do you want to see maybe some in-game cutscenes done for Zelda's games? So yeah, that's pretty much all the news that I have. But real quick, I'm going to give you kind of a mini top picks of stuff that I want to see. Now, we already have an Animal Crossing um, movie, I think. It came out in Japan only. And of course, we've had like the F-Zero animated series and stuff. But since this is a CG animation company, and I think that that's real important, that's a CG animated company, to think what would work good with CG animation. And I've already said one. I think Star Fox would work great because Star Fox has, you know, animal-like characters, so you don't have to do this mix. But Metroid would work also. That's high up on my list there because all you gotta do is just get like one actress to play Samus, and then after she goes in, you know, only for the Zero Suit parts, because then after that, when she's in the suit, CG animation. Metroid's CG animation. You see what I'm saying? If they bring something like Psylux into it, or any of the other hunters that were Metroid Prime hunters, CG animation. So it's like, that could do really good. And then depending upon how good they do, we could end up seeing a blend of this. Like I talked about with Metroid and how Sonic does it. You could end up seeing this blend of live action and CG, which I think would be interesting to start seeing stuff like that come to fruition. And who knows, maybe Nintendo Pictures will be like the next Marvel, and we'll see Nintendo logo on a big screen with, like, you know, the thing rolling, the oval rolling around and showing different Nintendo IPs and stuff, kind of like how it does in the beginning of the Sonic movies with Sega, and it shows all the different games. I think it'll be interesting to see what's going to come from this. And again, because the deal is expected to close on October 3rd, I can imagine that we're probably not going to hear about any projects until next year. So, with that in mind, once again, I'd like to hear you guys' opinion. Put it down in the comments below if you want, about what you want to see Nintendo do with the CG animation this company. You know, I'm thinking of movies in my head, but I'm also thinking of TV shows, you know, because it's going to depend upon the story that they have. You know, something like Star Fox, where they explore many different planets and many different regions, I can see that stretched out into like a 10-episode series. Where something like Metroid could be condensed down into maybe a 2-hour movie because it's just one planet and you go to different places, get different abilities. I don't think Zelda. I don't think that. Even though Zelda is up there on my list of stuff that I would love to see them do, I think that would work better as like hand-drawn animation. Does that make sense? Something with a little bit more love and care to it, or just a full-on live-action movie. Even though they could, again, use Dynamo Pictures to, again, maybe like a CGI Ganon, and get like an actor to do Ganondorf. So that could work also. It's going to depend upon what they wanted to do. If we're talking full-blown CG animation like Minions is, then yeah, I think something like Star Fox would work good. Maybe even Animal Crossing. Kid Icarus, definitely. But we're going to talk more into that later, I guess, as ideas roll around and we start to see more of what Nintendo is planning to do with Dynamo Pictures, because they could again just use them to make in-game cutscenes, and that's that. You know, because again, Microsoft acquired Rare and hasn't really done much with their IPs, so they might just be buying them just to do some in-game cutscenes, and that's that. Maybe come out with some more Pikmin shorts for Pikmin 4, who knows. But I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. I'm not going to keep you much longer. I've dragged this out much longer than I thought. But as always, I appreciate you guys always watching. And any view that I can get is always just fantastic to see. You're welcome to leave a thumbs up if you did like this content, or subscribe if you did enjoy this content. I like to do videos like this at least once a week. I'm going to try to do for 3 times a week. But I've got a ton of stuff to do today, guys. So if you'll excuse me, I got to go do housework now. Have a good one, guys, and I'll see you next time.